Do you use Robo Gateway for leads? No, I go to the courthouse. I have a team that goes to the courthouse and pulls the leads. So the organic leads. Doesn't cost me anything but gas. I heard somebody ask me last Periscope, how much do I pay for my leads? I don't pay for my leads. So how can we get the call script? All right, good question. There is a list that my assistant is making. We are copywriting this script right now, so nobody can't take it and sell it. All right? So email her, but screenshot this. If you guys want that script, which is the key. The script is the key, because I can't do none of this without that script. And I worked 2 years on that script. Email Danica. Let her know that you're interested in the script. If you are interested in being a part of our team, let her know that. But this is her email address, Danica@Millennial Futures. And that's where you'll get put on that list for the script. So what's our response rate? The person that we are calling went to the courthouse and wrote his number down, or his or her number down, so the courthouse can get in contact with them. So our response rate is just as good as the courthouse's response rate. All right? We're calling them. They left their cell phone number or their home number for the courthouse to get in touch with if something comes up. So we get that number and we call them. So response rate, 70%. Put it like this: my Q caller, she'll make 10 calls and talk to 7 people. Some of them want to sell, some of them don't, so on and so forth. But we talk to a lot of people. Yes. Out of that list, how many do you close usually? Well, that's a good question. We have so many. We just, last year we closed 14 deals last year. It was, our first year we only closed 2, but we made like $50,000 on the 2 deals that we closed. Last year, our goal was to close a deal a month, and we reached that. We closed 14. This year, we want to close multiple deals each month. And really every quarter, last year, the last 8 months of last year, we made $80,000. So the first quarter of this year, we want to surpass what we did there. How much have you made since you've been doing this? Let's see. I've been doing this for 2 years, and last year we made over 100,000, and our first year we made like 50. So this year, from January until now, we're going to be at about 60-70,000 just from this year. Do you use DocuSign? Yeah, I use like e-signatures. Yeah, e-signing. There's a few different ones. I'm not sure if it's DocuSign that we use, but what DocuSign is. What you want to do for your agreements, you want it to be very simple for them to sign that agreement, because anything that's difficult, you lose more. So everything has to be simple so you can get as many people as possible to that executed agreement. So the agreement is simple. The process is simple. The negotiation is simple. And then you get that agreement signed, and it's simple to send them the agreement. Just email it to them. They sign it, and then everything else gets difficult. No, it's not really like that, but How long is your contract usually for? My contract is good for 30 business days, and I have 15 business days worth of due diligence. Man, I'm telling you guys, it's not hard. It's not hard. If you say all the right things and you offer them the right price, understand, I am giving you your price. So I want my terms, right? You want your price, I want my terms. So my terms is 30 business days, just close it, 15 business days of due diligence. Now, I'm going to have my due diligence done in 7 days, because the buyer is going to tell me what he wants to pay in about 7 days. And then he's going to tell me, yeah, I can pay you this and close in 10 days. So then I'm going to go back to the seller like, hey, I know we talked about a 30-day close, but we're ready to go ahead and close it. We just need to get it at this price, You ever deal with occupied houses? How do you work out showings on that? Good question. If a property is occupied, and it's rare with probates, but yeah, I do have them. Basically, you have to set appointments with your buyers, like for one day, hey, you get pictures of the inside. Whenever you can go by, or I send a team member by, sets up a lockbox and gets pictures. So then I market it to the buyers with the pictures and let them know that we're showing it on this certain date. And then I'll 30-minute intervals, 15-minute intervals. I get each and every buyer by there on that date. So that's how I would do it if there was a tenant or the property was occupied. And why do I call my leads organic? Because nobody touches them before I do. So I'm not paying someone else who filtered out what he wanted, or it's not coming from some list source that everybody can just pay to get. My leads, you have to go get them, and that's why I like them, because it cuts out a lot of my competition. Most of my competition won't go out to the courthouse. If they can't find it online, they're not going to do it. So I want less competition. That's why I call it organic. When looking for title companies, do you go through a lot of them? No, I actually ask people in my network, like buyers or someone, who they use. And then I use that title company. But I have somebody that I like and who explains our wholesale fee pretty well, so we don't have to double close sometimes. So I use him. Explain the double close. All right. A double close is you use transactional funds. There's people out here that have hundreds, $200,000 just sitting waiting to finance a deal, right? All right. So there is, there's people that have 100,000, 200,000, and they want to make, 1% on it, 2% on it in an hour, right? So they will fund your transaction. Now, a double close is I have a seller and I'm the buyer, right? And then on the other end, I'm the seller selling it to my buyer, right? The reason I'm double closing it is because I don't want the seller to know what I'm making, or I don't want the buyer to know what I'm making. I don't want them counting my pockets like, hey, you don't deserve this. I deserve whatever I can negotiate. That's what I deserve, right? So what I'll do is, or what everyone does if they don't want someone knowing their fee, is A to B. You use transactional funds. That person that wants to make 1% on their money, you use their money to purchase the property from this seller, right? $50,000, right? So you use that $50,000. It costs you $500 or $1,000 to use that $50,000. You take that out of the profits that you're making. You calculate that in your profit. So you buy it from the seller, and then an hour later, 2 hours later, and the next day, you turn around and sell it to the buyer. So the only thing that the seller sees, the A to B, the person you're buying it from, is that you bought the house, right? Your company bought the house, and your transactional funds was your financier. That's the person that gave you the money to buy the house, right? And then the only thing the buyer sees is that you are selling the house to them, or you are the owner, you are on the deed, and you're selling the house to them. That's the only thing that's saw, and that's a double close. Are you taking any students? Not at the moment. Still, when the material, we're creating manuals for our probate system. When those manuals are complete and I am completely out of my role here, then I can start thinking about taking on students. But I have to replace myself in what I do first before I can take on another responsibility.